Hello, viewers. Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. It's 1994.
It is. It's
I don't know.
GCSE year almost. No, next year's GCSE year.
I can't remember what happened in 1994. There weren't many mobile phones around. There weren't many
No,
people on the internet.
there's no ticking and tocking in, and no snapping in and chatting in.
There was no downloading.
There's no
Or
downloading, no uploading. You had to find a certain type of magazine in a old woods for young man entertainment. Not like now, it's all in the palm of your hand. I mean, the phone is in the palm of your hand, not you know what I'm saying.
and there weren't many people even, but you couldn't even download and buy things on iTunes at that point,
No,
could
there
you?
was no Amazon. Well, there was the Forest, which is that still there? The push pops. I think they were a thing in '94. Commodore Amigas. I was going to say global hypercolor T-shirts, but they were a lot earlier than that. Naf jeans. Remember Naf Joe Bloggs jeans and
Oh,
Spliffy
vaguely.
jeans and
Yeah.
E17 and stuff like that. 1994. What a year!
You were a teenager. You were at the
I was.
forefront of the zeitgeist.
I turned 15 in 1994. So
So
yeah,
your finger was on the pulse.
it
So
was on something.
what were the albums of 1994? I can't
Well,
even.
I'm going to introduce you to some of them now, Philster, because we all know the best album from 1994.
Yeah, I think I know what you think that is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it then?
Well,
E7.
I think you definitely maybe think that a certain band's debut album was the best one.
I mean, let's face it. My 1994, 33.3% of my choices are already made. But you had Grace by Jeff Buckley. What an amazing album that is.
Well, yeah, I mean, see, I could have put that Oasis album as in my top three. It was certainly, could certainly, although I don't need to. So I've
No,
got
you
three.
don't need to, Phil. So we're already jumping ahead of ourselves. We already know what's getting into 1994. But an album obviously had the MTV Unplugged, the ultimate one, Nirvana.
Yeah, that
was
there.
94. Because obviously this was the year that Kurt Cobain decided to leave this mortal coil. But Portishead Dummies album, I love that album. What a great album that is. An album I only discovered in the last couple of years. But I knew about it. Didn't it win the Mercury Music Prize in '94? But you obviously had Blur, Parklife. Is it Three Communication? Beastie Boys? Green Day's Ducky album. What a great album that is.
Yeah, Ill Communication, isn't it?
Ill Communication, yeah. Weezer. Was that the one with Buddy Holly on it?
I think
Just
so.
like Buddy Holly. Yeah.
I'm just looking at some of these here.
So if we're talking 1994, wasn't 1994 the year of Pato Banton and UB40? Baby, come back.
Pearl Jam, Vitalogy.
Yes. Yeah.
Some people think that's the best record they did. It's a bit more experimental than the first two.
You had me being me with my hip hop, Ready to Die by Notorious B.I.G.
The Stone Roses had a second coming.
They did have the second, and then you had the Suede album as well, didn't you? Dogman Star and Monster by R.E.M.
I've just temporarily forgotten about that R.E.M. Monster.
Yeah,
I'm one of the people that likes Monster by R.E.M.
I found it hard work, I think, didn't I?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I am looking forward to two albums I want to listen to because I've not listened to them before. Is a Division Bell by Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah.
And there's an album called Let Bad In by Kieran Lavery. So I think in '94 Nick Cave did Let Love In. I think in '94. So
right.
I'm quite looking forward to doing that. I might even go down. I'll tell you another great album from '94. I do really like Madonna's Bedtime Stories. Is Crazy Sexy Cool by TLC.
Oh, okay. Was that No, I'm thinking that was quite an early one for them. Then was it?
Yeah,
TLC. I
yeah,
remember hearing
yeah. I
about them a
think,
bit later on.
yeah. But then you had Johnny Cash, didn't you? His American Recordings came out that year.
Yeah, there is one from that year.
Yeah, yeah.
Talking about old timers, there were 2 albums. Well, 3 albums by veterans who I thought at the time, I was only, early 20s. I thought these guys were really old at the time. And now looking back and thinking they weren't that old after all. Neil Young, Sleeps with Angels. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. Remember when they got together to do No Quarter?
I do. I remember the adverts of that album.
They did remakes.
Did Tom Petty have an album out around here as well?
Probably. The Rolling Stones did Voodoo Lounge.
Oh, I do like Voodoo Lounge.
I like it. And a band that sounded a bit like the Stones on a lot of this album, Primal Scream, Give Out But Don't Give Up.
Well, Primal Scream did get in for me in 91, was it? So I'm just having a look on here because His and Hers by Pulp was out that year as well, wasn't it? Do you want me to go through just to give you some idea? Now, this is Radio X's in no particular. This is just in the order they were released.
Okay.
Their top 25 albums of 94. So it'll give you and anybody who's bothered to listen some ideas that they can go off and listen. Released in February 94 was the third album by Green Day and Ducky, which I'm going to sneeze.
Was that the third album? That's the third album. I always thought it was their debut album. I'm totally wrong
as
there.
well. Oh, got a little bit of a sneezy filster. So, yeah, that was their third album. It obviously had Basket Case and When I Come Around on, which is a great song, When I Come Around. Their second album is one I've never heard of. You probably would have heard of it. It is Therapy by Trouble Gum.
Yeah, or Trouble Gum by Therapy.
Yeah, that's it. What you said.
I remember Therapy were very, very hyped at the time. The music press loved them.
A bit like the Levelers. Remember the Levelers were really hyped and big.
They were big, yeah. I mean, they had a following for quite a long time. I think they were a band who suddenly broke into a bit of the mainstream, didn't they? After having had a following for a long time, and then they kind of went back to the relative obscurity again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Therapy, it was all...
Never heard of them.
But then I don't remember any other albums. Yeah, I don't remember any other albums. Go on.
Next up is an artist we both like, Beck and Mellow Gold.
Oh, yeah, his debut. No, I remember...
no, this is his third album.
Oh, of course, he'd done a couple of indie albums before, hadn't he?
But this has got Loser on it, hasn't it? I'm a loser, baby.
Yeah, that was where I first heard Beck. First heard him in a record shop in Belgium.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right, number 4 on their list is 9 Inch Nails and the Downward Spiral. Yeah. I've never been it's got the original version of Hurt on it, which is awful.
Yeah, Johnny Cash, of course, did that.
Improved that song massively.
And it was the first of Johnny Cash's American Recordings albums. That was the title of that album. That was the same year.
Yeah. And then you've got Soundgarden and Super Unknown. Never really listened to. The next album, and obviously we include it? It's a soundtrack album.
Well, it came out in the year. I suppose we could include it as an album of that year.
The Crow, the soundtrack to The Crow. It's got The Cure, 9 Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine, Stone Temple Pilots, etc., etc. Then in March 14th, Morrissey, Voxel and I.
Oh, yeah. I remember that coming out. That's 94.
Yeah. And then Primal Scream, Give Out But Don't Give Up. And then Live Through This by Hole is in there as well.
Yeah, that was highly acclaimed as well as a lot of albums.
The cover. Yeah, I always remember the cover of that one. His and Hers by Pulp. It's out that year. As well as a Parklife by Blur.
Yes.
And then one we've already mentioned at 12 is Weezer's Weezer album. The Beastie Boys is also in there. Music for the Jilted Generation. No good to me. I don't need nobody. Don't need. That one's in there. And then obviously Portishead Dummy, which we've already spoke about. And then a band that I've sort of, because I've, is Orbital and Snivelization, is it? Jeff Buckley and Grace. Obviously, the Monolith. Monolith? Is that the right word? Definitely Maybe. 29th of August.
That Jeff Buckley album will be many people's
it is a good
favourite.
album. Very good album. I've got it on vinyl, I believe. I didn't realise this, but the Manic Street Preachers' Holy Bible was released on the same day as Definitely Maybe.
It did get a little overshadowed.
Yes, yeah. And then you've got REM Monsters album, The Cranberries, No Need to Argue, Sway, Dogman Star, Nirvana, Unplugged, Pearl Jam, which you've already mentioned, and on the 5th of December, 94, the Stone Roses' Second Coming. So we have a few to be getting on with.
Massive Attack Protection is another one.
Yeah, probably not in their top
It's not
3
in their top
best albums. No.
According to You Discover Music, this American site, that's the number 8 they've put it as.
Oh, really?
For the year. Yeah.
Oh.
They've also gone with Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die.
Yes, yeah. Now I'm just having a look at Rolling Stone. Do you know what Rolling Stone put in its top 8? Or do you want to know Rolling Stone's top 10?
Let's see what they got in their top 10.
Right, let's scroll this down. Scroll this down. Scroll it down some more. Here we go. At 10, pop pickers, we have the Beastie Boys, Ill Communication. At 9, it's Pearl Jam and Vitalogy. Vitalogy,
yeah.
At 8 is Hole and Live Through This.
So far, what I'd expect from Rolling Stone, yeah.
At 7, Johnny Cash and the American Recordings.
Okay.
At 6, it's Soundgarden, and you know them now, but these were super unknown at the time.
Okay.
At 5, you've got Seattle's Finest and Nirvana and Unplugged, even though quite clearly there's lights on in the studio, so they were plugged in. At 4 is Jeff Buckley and Grace.
Now, I thought that either Jeff Buckley or Nirvana might have been the number 1 for Rolling Stone, but obviously not.
Well, at 3 is Weezer. And Weezer. At 2 is 9 Inch Nails and the Downward Spiral. And at 1, can you guess? Can you tell what it is, yet, kids?
Rolling Stone magazine's number 1 of the year. Have they gone with a hip hop album?
No, they haven't.
What would they have had then that you hadn't mentioned already? Oh, let's have a quick look. Or maybe they went with Green Day.
They did indeed go with Green Day.
So there we are.
I'm just having a quick scroll through to see where the best album of 1994 came. It's not even in the top 20 at the moment. Helmet. But do you remember a band called Helmet?
No, vaguely remember the name. I've never heard any of it.
Here we go. Number 19, Definitely Maybe. Like a Britpop Dr. Dre, guitarist, songwriter Noel Gallagher made multi-platinum pop by liberally lifting recognisable hooks from his heroes. He comes in at 19. Parklife. They put Parklife above. Oasis. Liz Phair comes in with Whip Smart as well at 18. And then you got The Offspring and Smash. Yeah, Blur comes in at 16. And then REM's Monster album. So 1994 is going to be tough, Phil.
It's got a lot of good records. I think it's a good one. I think it's fair to say it's one of the best years of the 90s for records, I think. Some may disagree.
This is where the 90s starts ramping up, isn't it? This is the beginning of the Britpop invasion. This is My People we're talking about now, Philster.
Well, we'll see what comes in the top 3 of you and me, and we'll see what viewers think should be up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Is there anything that can dislodge what everybody knows I'm going to pull in my top 3?
I don't know what the other 2 are going to be.
No, that's going to be the hard bit, Philster. That's going to be hard. But we'll see what falls out the tree. I'll shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Thank you for watching, viewers. Welcome to another
the
show.
jungle. Oh.
When I say welcome to another show, I said thank you for watching another show. Welcome to the next one when you click on it.
Yeah.
And we will be doing something else. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We love all those likes and all those follows.
And subscribe.
And thanks for taking the time. We appreciate
Yes.
it. All the best. Bye
Bye-bye.
for now.